Hello everyone, and welcome to our replay of the Project Cars 2 PC race from Daytona from February 6th, I believe. So let's go straight to the action. So you join us at the start of the race. The car's just heading down to the first corner across the start finish line. Unfortunately, we've already lost Mark due to a technical issue where he went flying across the track. So go and see our in-car view of the coverage of the race for that. You can see Ron took a little bit of liberty there and pushed Mike off into the pit lane. See him rejoin in there. So really the safest thing to do was just let Ron through and let him into the lead. Sparking away as bodywork rubs on the car. Maybe you're a little bit too low there. So I'm in number 16. Trying to keep it off the grass. Ron's sparking away there like crazy. So I'm just looking for a good clean place to get past. Side by side onto the banking. We all seem to be sparking for some reason. I didn't realise we were running that low, but come down into the bus stop for the first time. Right behind Ron, anticipating early braking, so on the brakes a bit early, which gives me a good run. Ron a little bit late, probably distracted. Let's just go and take another look back at that. So here's Ron, is off into the barriers, bouncing back. See Sam right behind, gets caught up in that. So let's take that back a little bit further and replay that. We'll do that from the point of view of Sam. So Sam and Mike coming down into the bus stop, neck and neck. Let's go into the cockpit view. Let's view it from Sam's view. So Sam comes down, brakes, does a good job of staying out of the back of Mike. Ron's off, Sam goes around. Mike's being collected by Ron. And Sam heads off, fortunately avoiding Ron as he recovers. But that puts Sam back back in fourth, but Mike and Ron swap places. So we see Mike limping back here. Sam and Ron go either side, classic move. And Mike heads into the pits. Now we only have visual damage on, so his performance is not necessarily impacted by that damage, but I believe he got a drive-through penalty for that, which is a bit unfair because obviously it wasn't necessarily his fault that Ron was in the middle of the track when he came into the bus stop. So he served his drive-through and he's back out onto track. Oh, he's a stop and go penalty. And he's back off again. Let's go and catch up with Ron. So Ron's chasing down Sam. Did a pretty good job of staying close, but Ron's slightly offline there and drifting wide. Possibly run a little bit too low, probably for everyone. Sparking's a bit of a sign of that. That's going to scrub some speed off, which is not good. So into the bus stop, good curb. Ron's got a good line through there, keeping up with Sam nicely. Ron for some reason slowed right down. Into the first corner. Pretty good line, but just not quite fast enough to really keep up with Sam. This is a corner you really want to keep tight, so Ron's offline there. Everyone appears to be sparking, which is an interesting phenomenon. Trailer sparks behind everyone in the replay. Ron goes off there, so let's go and join Sam, who's doing a good job of keeping up in second place. I think what we might be seeing here is a side effect of the recent Project Cars 2 update, where they revised the suspension geometry on the GT3R, and I think that's taking effect on the replay, so we're seeing a shower of sparks behind every car. It's kind of odd. So we've got a car off, I know, just going through the bus stop. That must be me. Starting to get dark now, headlights on. So we have this set up to do a 30-minute race with day, night, back into day transitions, starting at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, which is when the Daytona 24 starts, and finishing a virtual 24 hours later. So you got the whole experience of going from day to through dusk into night. You see it's starting to get darker. Headlights are on, different lighting effects, and as we come through here you can see the lit up Ferris wheel on the right hand side. And then as we get into dawn, you'll see the sun right in the driver's eyes. It's a good line through there. Keep it nice and tight. This is very odd. I've actually watched this replay before the update, and there was no sparking on any of the cars, so very interesting to see how that's been affected by the update. Definitely one for people to look out for when they're testing for the next race. You may need to revise some of your saved setups because of this. Screaming down into the bus stop, hard on the brakes, get a good turn in, good line, good use of the curbs, not running too wide. Car looks good. Alright, let's see what's going on with Ron. Ron's in the classic Porsche Motorsport livery. You can still see the damage from when he went into the wall earlier. But he's running good lines now. So you can see him following Mike down into the kink, and then onto the back straight on the banking. Taking a bit too much grass there, but doing a good job of keeping up with Mike. Go and see what's going on up front. Okay, so approaching the start finish line. Let's do a lap on board. So you'll notice the gears don't change. That's because we're in the replay mode, and oh, it is actually on this one. But anyway, okay, third gear into the first corner. Take a lot of curb on the inside. Brake at the cones. Keep it tight. Wind it out. Catch a little bit of oversteer. Could have probably gone wider on that lap. Over to the right, hard over the left. Take a lot of curb. Back end comes around a little bit. Brake where the brake marks are. Keep it tight again, wind it out. A little bit of oversteer there. Brake just at the end of the cones. A lot of curb on the inside, so we can use all of the outside to get speed onto the banking. You want to sort of start off midway and bring it down. Shortest line around the corner. And then as it starts to flatten out, we'll move over to the right. See very little steering movement because it just naturally wants to go over to the right hand side. Brake at the green. Fourth gear in, third gear. Keep it tight. Use all the curb on the way out. Just very light tapping of the brakes through there just to control the front end, make it do what we want, and then just flat out all the way through to the end of the lap. Go, brake, down to third, turn in early, almost hitting those tyres on the left hand side, off we go again. I'm running the Wright Motorsports livery, kind of inspired by Christina Nielsen signing for them, running in IMSA this year. It's going to be pretty neat. So we run our series with track limit warnings on. That's why sometimes you'll see not quite the full width of the track being used. Just trying to avoid any slowdown penalties for exceeding track limits. Brake hard into the bus stop. Try and straight line it as much as possible. The GMG livery has been very, very popular this year. A lot of people requesting to run that. So if we bring up the times, you can see people are fairly spread out. I guess closest are Mike and Ron. Sammy's running 24 seconds behind me. Rubbing the wall a bit there. This line down the right hand side on the track is a good indicator of where you want to place your car to stay out of the wall. So the key on these flat bits is really to stay over to the right as much as possible so that you get a wide line into the turns, particularly on the first turn. That'll give you a straighter line to brake in, which makes it easier to brake harder and later. So if you're interested in signing up for our Project Cars 2 races, the registration's open on clubregistration.net for our Xbox One series and our PC series. If you're a PlayStation 4 user, come and join our Facebook group and let me know when you can join a race, and we'll set something up for PlayStation as well. Definitely want to be able to run all three platforms, but we need people to participate, so we didn't get such a great sign up rate for the PlayStation guys, so unfortunately we're not running that at the moment. Now if you're running Project Cars 2 on the PC, you do have the option of virtual reality. So if you check out the other videos on our YouTube channel, particularly the in-car live streams, those are typically from my machine running in VR. So you'll notice some weird head movements, but it's quite a cool experience to be able to look around the car, and even in some cases step out of the car and look around it in virtual reality. You get a completely different sense of scale and impression of speed. A lot of the guys are running various setups. I know that, for example, Sam here is running the triple screen setup, which means that he has 3 monitors and can see a bit more to the side. I think Ron is running in a home theatre setup, so that's pretty neat. He's got a massive projector screen that he's driving with. I think Mike is on a single monitor setup at the moment. Just see the sky getting a little bit lighter. We're on a 50 times time progression, so because it's a half-hour race, and obviously we want to get 24 hours in there. There are obviously 48 half hours in a 24-hour period. So 50 times progression gives us the full 24 hours in 30 minutes. The other thing we can set up on these races is weather transitions. So as we start getting into dawn, we should start to see some fog, some light fog. Nothing too dramatic, so it might be quite subtle, but just something to throw some interest in here. So that gives us the option of doing all sorts of crazy things. So we can do a 24 hours of Daytona where it snows in the middle of the race, or we have a rain shower, or thunder and lightning, whatever we want to do. So you can just start to see some of the mist appearing. Alright, let's go and check out somebody else. So Ron's got a good line through there now. He's definitely picking up speed. One of the hardest things with the banking is you're effectively looking up to see round the corner, which particularly on a monitor can be difficult. So on this point here, Ron really needs to be way over on the right hand side, because as he comes into here, he's going to have a very interesting and tight turn, which makes it very easy to get the back end coming round. So now we're back into sunshine, typical Florida day. So here you want to be tight, maybe not that tight, but yeah, use the yellow curb. And you can run a bit wide here over to the yellow curb on the left. Coming up to the kink, I'll take all of the curb on the left. Brake here. This is kind of an interesting braking zone because it always feels like you're braking too early, at least for me. So that's probably an area I can work on braking later into that. Take a lot of curb here, and then it's actually pretty wide as you come out. So one of the things that the replay will do is, if I'm driving and I view my replay, I can see the gear changes and everything else that's going on. But if I view another driver, I don't see their gear changes because it doesn't give away what other people are doing. So that's why Ron is still in first gear despite doing 220 kilometers an hour. Although his fuel looks kind of low, 6.9 gallons for another 2 or 3 laps. It's probably going to be tight. So you can see Ron's approach here. He has a much sharper turn than if he was out on the right hand side. And that means he has to slow down a bit more to come through that corner. Let's go and visit Mike. Mike's back in the pits. I think that was for fuel. Clearly they didn't repair his car. Let's go and check out Sam. So Sam is flying around now, really on it. Getting a good line, tighten here, wind it out. Yeah, that's good. A little bit early on the brakes there, but there's nothing wrong with that. Using the full width of the track. So across the whole race, Sam was the only person not to get lapped. Did a pretty good job of keeping it on the lead lap. Some of the turns a little bit cautious, but that's something that comes with practice. Just getting the feel for how the car moves around under braking. Being able to rotate the car on the brakes is one of the key things you need to do when you're racing. You really don't want much of a gap between you being on the throttle or on the brakes. You don't really want to be just coasting at any point. So it's not necessarily a bad entry there. But this is the decreasing radius turn, so you want to be slowing down, downshifting and turning the whole way through, and then on the power as early as you can, but smoothly. If you are too abrupt on the brakes or too abrupt on the power, then the back end will come round. As you get heat in the tyres, it's much easier to take that kink flat out without running out to the outside or having to take too much curb on the inside. So due to the unfortunate technical issue that took Mark out at the start, where if you watch the replay from in-car you'll see him bouncing around, we are not necessarily going to count this round towards the championship. The consensus seemed to be that we would review the championship standards at the end of the year, and if this championship round would have affected anything, then we'll rerun it to give everyone a fair shot at participating. The other thing that we've learnt from doing this round is that voice communication is critical, so we are asking everyone who participates to be on Discord. We have a Discord channel. That just means that if we do need to restart, it's much easier just to talk to people and coordinate doing that. That was quite a wide line in there. Alright, let's see what am I up to. So this, we've got 1 or 2 laps left, so pretty close to the end of the race. Tyres are suffering, I'm sure. Still sparking away, which is very odd, but I think some of the visual effects are a little bit premature. It looks like every single turn I go round I'm spinning up the tyres and smoking them, but really tyre wear didn't indicate that that was the case at all. It's not a bad line, running out to the outside, bringing it back in. So really keeping the out of Ron's way at the beginning paid off at the end, because instead of trying to win the race on the first corner, I was able to pick my time to pass him, stay out of his way as he was going off, keep my car in one piece, and then just pick my own pace. So I think we may have one lap after this. Let's see. No, I think that's the end of the race. So Sam, Ron, into the bus stop for the last time.